A 19-year-old boy, Top, comes to a bank that day. He is a successful entrepreneur despite his young age, and wants to take a loan of 10 million Thailand baht, or around 300,000 USD, to make a factory for his own products. However, the bank manager can't just give it to him, especially due to his lack of credibility for his young age. Trying to convince him, Top then explains how he is able to achieve everything so far. Back in high school, Top loves to play video games, and even to the point that he gets a lot of money from selling in-game items. He starts with selling a rare item for 12,000 baht. By obtaining and trading more rare items, he is even able to buy a new car. His parents don't agree about it and ask him to focus on high school, but he doesn't take their words. After graduating, he fails in getting into a public university, but he doesn't care about it and continues to play games, feeling that his future is secured. Due to the ease of getting the money, he spends it lavishly on brand new electronics. One night, his parents ask him to apply for a private university, which is very expensive. However, he overhears his parents complaining about facing financial problems. Unfortunately, he cannot help them because his game account has been blocked due to commercial activities and he doesn't have much savings left after spending it lavishly. Determined to help his parents, he tries to resell DVD players with his remaining savings. Unfortunately, his first business fails because he is tricked by the supplier who sold him junks for a high price. Seeing that Top has failed, his father recommends him to enter university and abandons his business. Father gives him money to enter the private university, but Top refuses, because he doesn't want to be dependent on his troubled parents. At night, he steals one of father's jewelry and pawns it with a promise that he will buy it back later. He then uses the money to enter a private university as per their request. Despite having entered university, Top still believes that he wants to be an entrepreneur. He often skips his classes and goes to food processor exhibitions. There, he rented an automatic peanut cooker to open a new culinary business. He diligently learns how to cook peanuts from other sellers and applies it. Due to his efforts, his food is delicious, even his family members like it. Convinced to go to the next step, Top and his uncle open a tenant in a mall. Despite the tasty food, they fail because there is no customer buying. Top feels that they have misplaced their tenant, because there is no traffic around there. He then learns from various sellers across markets and decides to try several places. After some attempts, sales finally go up and Top starts to hire some staff. Top's girlfriend reminds him to come back and focus on his study, but Top is still determined on establishing his business. Top abandons his school and due to his absence, he dropped out of his university. To add to his problem, he has to close his peanut tenant too because the smoke from the peanut cooking process pollutes them all. Top's parents ask him to go to China with them to start a new life. However, Top is still determined to be a businessman, and pay his family's debt so that they may stay in Thailand. After some consideration, Top's parents leave him and go to China. After parting from his parents, Top eventually finds that the house that he has been living in has been used as collateral for a bank loan and is about to be seized. When he is feeling down, he meets girlfriend who is angry because Top hasn't been replying to her messages. Upon taking her home, she shares some fried seaweed that she bought from overseas. The fried seaweed is delicious and Top wants to sell this product for his next business, convinced that he will be the first in Thailand's market. Realizing that packaging is an important aspect of food products, Top asks a professor on how to preserve the fried seaweed in a package. Professor doesn't want to share the information to Top, but Top tells his touching story on how he is planning to bring his parents back by selling the product, and Professor agrees to teach him. In the lab, Professor kindly explains that he has to use a vacuum machine to suck the oxygen out of the package and kill the bacteria. Now, Top already has a new path set in sight. He is very sure that the fried seaweed will be his way to bring his family home. Determined to walk down the new path, Top sells his automatic peanut cooker and buys new materials and tools. Unluckily, his first attempt fails, as the fried seaweed always tastes bitter. Having no cash left, Top sells his electronics to buy more raw seaweed and continues to experiment. Even though Uncle frequently persuades Top to follow his parents to China, he still doesn't lose faith in himself and his new business. Uncle faithfully accompanies Top in his efforts, but he got into an accident when experimenting and had to be hospitalized. Top is forced to abandon his experiment and prioritize his uncle's health and treatment. That night, a package accidentally fell and rain poured on it. Knowing that Uncle is safe, Top continues his attempt without Uncle, but also meets no luck. He continues the attempt until he runs out of stock, with only one last rain-drenched seaweed left. He fries the seaweed and finds it delicious because of the water moisture inside the package. He joyfully brings it to Uncle and Uncle also likes it. After Uncle has recovered, they start to sell the fried seaweed and succeed. Top sets a personal sales target of 1 million baht a year. He now finally can smile widely on his own success. However, it doesn't last long as he finds out that the family's debt is actually 40 million baht, or 1.2 million US dollars. Top got desperate because of the shocking number, and even got demotivated to not continue his business. At home, Top listens to some motivational records to boost his morale and finally gets back to his feet. He then visits 7-Eleven to grab some snacks. Then, Top realizes that he can sell his products in the shop to significantly boost his sales. Without further delay, Top visits 7-Eleven's office the next day and pitches his product to the director. Director rejects his proposal because his package design is so poor and the price is too expensive for retail. Once more faced with disappointment, girlfriend tries to cheer him up and says that her parents can help his financial problems. However, Top doesn't want to be pitied and outrightly rejects the offer. The next day, Top asks a local designer to design his product's packaging. Designer says that the product's name, Tao Kei Noi, which means young entrepreneur, is good enough and needs no adjustment. After some days, designer brings the new design and Top likes it. Top also shrinks his snack size to fit the retail price. He brings the newly packaged seaweed to the office once more to show to the director. However, director is very busy that day and Top is left waiting for hours. Feeling that he is abandoned, Top finally surrenders and gives his product to the office's security, saying that he can share it with the other employees because he has failed. Top also calls mother to inform that he has lost hope and is coming to China. While Top is overflowing with disappointment, Tao Kei Noi is a big hit and is loved by 7-Eleven staff. The office then invites Top to an appointment with the boards, and Top comes confused. In the meeting, the director commended him for making the delicious snack. Director also adds that he has to produce 72,000 packages for 6,000 branches nationwide to be a partner. In addition, his factory will also be inspected for hygiene concerns. Despite having no capacity at the moment, Top agrees to the requirements and comes to the bank that leads him to where he is now. Turns out, Top applies for the 10 million baht to fund his new factory. Hearing all Top's stories, the bank manager congratulates Top for making it so far. But, he rejects Top because Top is still 19 years old and his family has a huge debt. With the many ideas in his head, Top still pushes forward. He uses his parents' old shop, which is also in the process of being confiscated by the bank. Top even sells his car to fill his new factory with tools and equipment, and hires new staff. Upon shopping, he finds that girlfriend has left him and is with someone else. Top is so sad because they have been together for so long and girlfriend has always cared for him. However, he lets her go because he knows that he has bigger things ahead of him. Top pushes his schedules and gets the factory running within weeks. He then invites the director and an inspector to inspect the sanitation of the factory. After some checking, they are unsatisfied with the factory's sanitation and see that Top is unfit for being a partner. Director says that they will discuss the result first and the result will be sent via fax on a later date. Top is now on the brink of failure once more, having invested all of his assets and efforts in the new factory. After they have fixed the factory's problems based on the inspector's input, Top fortunately gets the approval from the director. Top is very overjoyed with the prospects that lie ahead, and ramps up his production to meet the required number. Some weeks pass and Top is finally about to deliver the first batch of his products. Top hugs his uncle and expresses his gratitude, for uncle has always been the one who accompanied him through the ups and downs of the hustle. He also says that if they fail again this time, he will not be stubborn and follow his parents' will to study and live in China, because he has sold everything for the new business. Upon arriving at the warehouse, Top is faced with one last final ordeal. His delivery is 1 hour late and cannot be accepted by the warehouse manager. Top begs to him and says that he has sacrificed a lot for this. He tells his story once more, about how he has sacrificed everything for reaching here. The warehouse manager empathizes with him as Top is looking very tired and pale. He finally accepts his packages and welcomes him as a new business partner. Feeling relieved, Top calls his parents to say that they can finally come home to Thailand. 2 years after the cooperation with 7-Eleven, Top pays off his parents' debt of 40 million baht and can reoccupy the house together. Top also applies for a loan of 400 million baht to expand his factory. In 2010, Top had 2,500 employees. He sends his products to 6,000 7-Eleven branches, and exports his seaweed snack to 27 countries around the world. Top also owns a seaweed plantation in South Korea, and generates 1.5 billion baht, $45 million, in sales at the age of 26 years old. In the end, Top can truly achieve what he has been eyeing for after long hours of working and hustling, and he can finally see that all of his hard work has paid off. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like and comment to help the channel out. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.